why it becomes frustrating as you become fitter and faster. I received an email from Michael, and he explained to me that when he's doing his intervals, it's taking progressively longer and longer for his heart rate to get elevated. This actually is a good problem to have. If you have followed me for any period of time, you know I'm a big fan of using railroad tracks as an example or as more of an illustration. And when we look at a set of railroad tracks, I want you to label one of the rails as your strength base and the other one as your aerobic engine. We always say you're as strong as your weakest link, correct? So when we're looking at your ability to go fast, what we're always trying to identify is the strength keeping up with the aerobic capacity, or is the aerobic capacity keeping up with the strength, or are they starting to grow apart from one another and the train's about to derail? When you look at doing your assessments with my clients, we test every 6 to 8 weeks at the latest. And what we're trying to do is identify, is one getting ahead of the other, or are they both developing on par? That's how you can raise the platform of performance training block over training block. We don't want to reinforce what you're already good at. We want to make sure that the weaker of the two is always catching up to, and once we get parity, relatively speaking, we can elevate the platform. The other thing to keep in mind is when you get fitter and faster, what happens is not only does it take a longer period of time for you to get the heart rate elevated due to strength and aerobic capacity, when you do start your rest interval, what you'll notice is that your heart rate plummets very quickly. You recover very quickly. So this is where the frustration comes in, and it's a good positive challenge. It takes longer and longer for the heart rate to tap out, and it takes a very short period of time for you to recover. So if I'm doing a heart rate ladder, let's say for 30 minutes, it might take me 8-9 minutes to get the heart rate to that upper range. Let's say I'm doing a heart rate ladder of 150 to 160. I'm using very loose numbers here. It might take me 8 to 9 minutes to get up to that 160, but it might only take me 30 seconds to recover. Well, that's the double-edged sword about being both fit and fast. Why would that happen? Well, as your strength and your aerobic engine work together, you can go faster longer before you get tired. When you get to that point where you hit the upper range of your heart rate ladder, when you recover, because you have such a strong cardiovascular system, you've done a great job of laying the capillary beds in the muscle, you're able to dissipate the metabolic byproduct, you're able to bring the heart rate down quickly because your heart is a muscle just like your biceps. And as it becomes more cardiovascular fit, it pumps more millimoles of blood per beat, which brings the heart rate down quicker. Now, let's look at it from the other side of the spectrum. When somebody is not very fit, their heart rate skyrockets pretty quickly and takes a very long time for the heart rate to come down. So somebody that's unfit, heart rate elevates quickly, longer period of recovery. When you remember when you weren't quite as fit as you are now, you're like, oh, I got a nice long recovery window. Now you're fit and fast, and it takes longer to get the heart rate up, and it comes down very, very quickly. So that's why we refer to this as the frustrations of being fit and fast. Great question, Michael. If you happen to have any questions, and you guys are overwhelming us in a positive way with questions, I really love seeing the increased number of questions that are coming in each day. So thank you for doing that. And it's our promise to you, we're going to get to all of your questions. Here, what our goal is to answer a question a day for you. So make sure you come back. If you haven't subscribed, I would suggest that you do so and turn on the notifications. If you want to leave us a message below, we'll do our level best to engage with you and make sure that we get your questions answered. But if you happen to have a question that you would like for us to dig into, please feel free to reach out to me and my team at contact@coachrobb.com, and I deeply appreciate you watching these videos.